Sorry about that. So, okay. Yeah, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the iGimel Sports Show. We right here again to discuss the European Super League with me, Gordon Amwako, aka Barum, Senyanti Chibano, aka Professor himself, with myself here, Dennis Kofi, aka King of Football. So we're just going to kick off. We're waiting for Carlos to join us shortly. It won't be too long. We just want to kick off with the first statement going to Barum. Gordon Amwako. Now, the last week we discussed a few things. We never saw the ESL coming up, and that was a strange, surprising one. What's your take? Briefly? What's your take?
You mean the
East European Super League? What's your take on it? What is going on?
Right. So, welcome to our viewers, and I hope they're having a great Saturday wherever they are. Morning, afternoon. It's morning here. So, yeah. So, to be honest, with the European Super League, am I audible enough?
Yeah, you are.
Right. So, with the European Super League, I was pretty much indifferent. I wasn't sure, but I felt a group of people. So the way I saw it was I saw it in a business line. I saw it as a group of shareholders who were trying to upstage, say an authority who wasn't probably falling in line. And at the end of the day, their voices were heard, right? Because I think when you look at the European, the UEFA, we've seen that over the years. We've heard of all the scandals and all the things that are happening at UEFA. So I think the guys wanted some changes, right? Okay. These changes were not coming as fast as they expected, right? Okay. So in many ways, the way I saw it, they were trying to find a way to get their voices heard. And the only way they could do that was because this was pretty quick, because from what I read, these guys, what's his name? Manuel's team, Real Madrid's boss. he met, what I heard was he met Atletico and was it Valencia or one of the teams, and told them, hey, it's either you or Valencia. I mean, so you'd have to just come on board. So he sort of scrambled people around and sort of got them into it. And hey, this is what I want. But the truth is, you can clearly see they wanted their voices to be heard. They wanted some changes at the UEFA, but that wasn't happening. And that was what they tried. Because look, the European Super League was going to be boring anyway.
You believe the European Super League was going to be boring? Before quickly, then I go to that team. Yeah.
Right, I believe so, because, I mean, with UEFA, you have to qualify. You have to be in the first four, right? And the top leagues to join. But this one, whether you qualified or not, because you're a founding member, you sort of had an automatic ticket, which wasn't based on merit anyway, just your money. It didn't make sense. I mean, I think at the point it was just going to be, look, UEFA, with UEFA, we've Champions League, we've seen a lot of teams coming through from the lowest to, you can think about it. It makes it fun, right? You don't have to sort of, one year you'd find that Arsenal is not there, Chelsea is not there, or someone's not there. It makes it interesting. Like you're not guaranteed. We know that the top four, I mean, that's what makes the Spanish league, the English league all competitive, because everyone is trying to fight for the first four. That is the merit. It's not about your money, but it is that. That's how come we had Leicester and all these people getting there. So yeah, I think they just wanted to put their points across, and they succeeded.
And they succeeded in that. Okay.
They succeeded.
Thank you very much, Baron. Nyatichi, I can see the brown smiling there. I don't know exactly why you're smiling. So, Nyatichi, can you just give us your thoughts on the ECL? Just as Baron said, your thoughts, yes.
Well, yes. Actually, I'm fine. From the information I've read on various sports, from various footballing websites, actually the European Clubs Association had approved a modified version of the Champions League on Friday. Okay.
Yeah.
So and the European Clubs Association is made up of all these 12 teams that broke away from the ESL. So for them, from what I have read, the president of UEFA was shocked because if you are part of an organization that has approved changes to the Champions League on Friday, then why do you go and why do you announce a breakaway league on a Sunday? Which means that they were actually working underground. They were being two-faced. So whilst they wanted whilst they wanted changes to the Champions League, they were actually proposing setting up their own league. So I can understand how the president of UEFA was angry and how he was threatening that players from these clubs will not take part in the Euros and also in the World Cup qualifiers and the FIFA World Cup. I can actually understand. So for me, it's just a bunch of club owners and club presidents who want more money from for their clubs to the detriment of everybody else.
Today is an interesting day because I was meant to be one of the panelists and I was going to shoot my argument for the UEFA European Super League. Now, before we come to the issue of the legality of the ESL in itself, clearly, Baronch is of the view that he felt he didn't make a lot of sense, which I have to agree with him, because I personally don't believe that the ESL were actually serious about setting up. And I'll tell you why. That isn't the way to go about it. It was absolutely premature and atrocious the way they went about setting this whole thing up. Now, Baronch, if you can unmute now, I want to come back to you. And in terms of, I want us to look at the legitimacy of the ESL. Yes, the setup may have been dubious. There may have been some, unexplained things in there. But was the European Football Association, UEFA, were they right in saying they will ban players from playing the World Cup and players will not play association football? Were they right in doing that?
No, I don't know the statutes of UEFA, but if somewhere in there it says that you cannot, but I don't think they're right anyway, because every country in their laws, their local football laws, right? Mm-hmm. Anyone is free to join whatever association you like, right? So, I mean, I think UEFA was also treading on very dangerous grounds. They were just they're just trying to be bullies. I mean, dictators anyway. So if they attempted something like that, I mean, the likes of Real Madrid and Barcelona and the big guns would probably have come after them with every ounce of blood in them. But I don't think they had any right to want to ban any. I mean, it wasn't any player that did it. It was just a bunch of people who I keep saying who wanted their voices heard. And like Bana said, he said that I think UEFA accented. There's a part, right? They did some changes they were looking for, but I think more so, I think there's something specific. It has to do with money. I think it's always about the money, right? The distribution of money. So I think that was where the whole thing came from. They probably weren't heard. So they were trying to just get in there and then do what they had to do. But I don't think UEFA in the right senses would want to do something like that. Ban, that was just calling for a lot of lawsuits and that wasn't going to end well. You know what I mean? So I don't think they wanted something like that.
But Yantiji, if you want to take out from where Baronch left off, in terms of UEFA clearly stating they were going to ban them. Now, Baronch is clearly, obviously, making the argument they would not be right in doing so. And I believe UEFA, they have their own statute in terms of why they felt they had the legitimate reasons or the legal powers to ban players from playing in something that is otherwise an acceptable form of trade. Why would they restrict players doing that? What's your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a lawyer, so I wouldn't know. Because this was, if they had tried to ban players, it would have been very complex. Because I mean, you would have, this was obviously an international. This ESL had an international
Yeah.
scope, so it would cross national borders. So, which court would issue, which court would issue the ban? Where would you go to litigate? Would you go to Spain or England or Switzerland, where UEFA is based? But having said that, I believe now that things have settled somewhat, UEFA can actually protect themselves legally. Yeah, I mean they can make sure they can make sure that all the 12 clubs that form the ESL, before they take part in any UEFA competition again, they sign non-competing contracts, which means that if those clubs
Yeah.
set up
No
another
compete,
Super League, then it means that automatically they'll be out of their local leagues, and then their players too will not be able to play in international games. So right now that things have settled somewhat, if I were the UEFA president, I would consult the legal team of UEFA and the national football associations that make up UEFA, so that they set up non-competing contracts, maybe what, 20, 30, 50 years. So that within this period, maybe 50 years, you cannot set up a competition in opposition to a UEFA club
a UEFA
competition.
Yeah.
If you do that, yes. So now that that's settled, UEFA should protect itself. They can do that now.
All right. Thank you very much. Welcome, viewers. We've just been in the program for the last 10 minutes. With me, with Nantichi, Professor, and then we have Barunt discussing the European Super League. And we're just going to go on. We've just discussed a few things. If you were just catching up, just discuss the legal side, just discuss the intent. Now we're going to go down to the real substance of the matter. So Barunt will be taking us. And Barunt, you ready there? Now, the question I want Barunt to look at in terms of what the European Super League stood for was the attitude of the 6 clubs. We'll start with England first, with the 6 clubs in the Premier League. Was their attitude, you think, because they make a lot of money from Sky Sports. They make a lot of money from fans in the country who attend games in record numbers in the whole of Europe. Do you think the 6 CEOs or owners or chairmen of these 6 clubs in the Premier League, did they make a wise decision? Oh, that was just unbelievable. What's your take?
I wouldn't call it if it's wise. I wouldn't say if it's wise or not wise, because Kofi and Bano, we agree that football has become a very expensive enterprise, very, very expensive enterprise. And as much as sports, Sky or whoever pays them a lot of money, these guys often are looking at 10, 20 years ahead, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, look, one player takes, what, £300,000 a week?
A week,
and, right. So honestly, these guys are trying to balance the sheets 5, 10 years ahead, right? They are making plans. Every team is making a plan, right? You see how expensive that is. So I wouldn't fault them too much. I think with any enterprise, they were trying to make a long-term plan, right?
Now, but let me carry that and ask you a further question so you can answer for me. Now, are you saying these 6 top clubs, supposedly top clubs, because I don't know how Arsenal and Spurs found themselves in the top clubs in Europe. Now, these supposedly top clubs, are you saying, as a matter of fact, we've just been joined by Carlos. He's going to be hosting the program, but we'll come back to you then. So are you saying that they should prioritize money against the interest of the fans? With the statement that was made that I think he was one of the top players who made it by saying, Pep Guardiola actually said it. What is the benefit of knowing that you were going to qualify anyway? So would that improve your performance? Why would they place such financial gain over the merits of the game? Why would they do that?
Right. So, Kofi, the planning and merit are dichotomous, right? They are on opposite sides because you always know you have to perform. But at the same time, how do we perform? A player cannot stand on the field and play and not be paid. You are talking the likes of, look, take a team like Real Madrid or take a team like Barcelona or take a team like Chelsea, take a team like your players being paid £300,000 a week. One player is £1.2 million a month, right? Talking of all the backroom staff and all that. So in as much as you know that you have to qualify, look, when we go to you have to maintain your stadiums. When you get to the pitch, I mean, the football fans, they can buy the tickets. But the question is, honestly, the amount of tickets these people, you buy and all that, I mean, the fans have their role. We support the club, we love it, and it is because of us they are there. But Kofi, you know clearly that the banks take huge amount of money, loans from the banks to support the club and try and sort of get other places to grow. In as much as yes, the club is about this is not 1920 when football started, right? This is 2021. If it weren't about money, why would Abramovich buy Chelsea anyway?
Now, Laurent, I find this very interesting. Yantichi, you just take this one and we'll go on commercial break and then we'll come back in 2 minutes. Yantichi, do you agree with the comment Laurent is making in terms of the clubs having so much to cater for the wage bill that they were right in taking this decision, which is clearly backfiring?
Oh, yes, the clubs do spend a lot of wages, but then, I mean, that is another thing which needs to be looked at. Because, you see, this whole, right now, the world of football business is like, the world of football business is without regulation. Because there are no salary caps, very soon a time will come when a player will be paid £1 million a week.
That's right.
There are no salary caps. There are no caps on. There are no caps on fees that agents can charge when they are selling a player to a club, and everything. I mean, there is no regulation. Financial fair play, which was instituted a few years back, has brought some sanity into the finances of clubs. But financial fair play is just the foundation. It is not the whole building. So, I mean, the clubs were justified in seeking more money, but I believe UEFA, FIFA, and the Footballers Union, FIFPro, they should sit down to, talk things over. There have to be salary caps. There have to be limits on what agents can charge as commission. Because right now, any agent can sell a certain player and say, I want 10 million euros as commission. How? I mean, there is no, any agent, they can just mention any figure. So there is no sanity in the world of football business. So they just have to come together and talk things over. Otherwise, a few years down the line, you have another set of clubs trying to bring up their own league.
That's interesting. As you can watch, we are live at the moment. We're just going to have a commercial break and then we switch host so we can have this. Carlos is with us here. He was having a little technical problems, so we'll be back shortly, viewers. And but before we go for the break, I want Baron to touch on a few things. The first thing I want to touch on, the Real Madrid president, he said something. He said, you would not go and watch Rafael Nadal playing a tennis player who's been ranked 80th in the world, but you would watch Federer and Nadal. So he was making this in reference to the Super League, where you have the 12 elite clubs or 15 competing against each other. I think he has a point there. I think he has a point because I would rather watch PSG and Barcelona any day over PSG and some low club from somewhere, Krasnodar or whatever his name is. What would you say? What would you say about what Florentino Perez was on about?
I totally disagree with Florentino Perez. Look, before Barcelona became Barcelona, before Real Madrid became Real Madrid, they also started somewhere. Look, Leicester has been a surprising team for all of us, right? And Leicester started somewhere. You'll be surprised that give it time, it will brew. If we go by that approach, then we don't expect any small teams to actually come through, which isn't fair. the beauty and the strength of the Champions League is seeing Celtic play Real Madrid, or seeing Celtic play, or looking at I think a while back it was this team in Ukraine. It was superb. Like, you have these small teams and they come in and they surprise you. You know what I mean? That's what makes the Spanish. That's what makes the Copa del Rey interesting. When you have Alcorcon beating Real Madrid by 6-1, you're like, okay, this is fun. Or you find some low-end team beating Barcelona, you're like, yes, this is it. That is why we have all these cups. So if you always have, personally, I think it will be so boring every day to watch PSG playing Barcelona. Really, I mean, do I really want to watch that all the time? I want to see the small. How did Naomi Osaka come into the game? Naomi Osaka just started, right? We all know, oh, this teenage girl, she just came through. It was one match with Serena. She started bit by bit. And we're like, oh, okay, then we got to know her, Naomi Osaka. And now she's a household name, right? That is how everyone starts. So Perez is just being elitist. And to be honest, that is how Real Madrid started. It was General Franco and his people. And I mean, if you read the origins of the Spanish teams, Barcelona were like the outcasts. I mean, the way they played football to actually sort of have a way of life, right? So it is the same elitist approach that he's trying to use, which doesn't make sense. I mean, he's not making sense.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are right here again. So we will be switching hosts at this particular point. We wanted to take a short commercial break, but we'll be back again, and then we will continue with the program. And then we will have our host back in, Carlos. So stay with us as we shortly do that. So, Carlos, are you ready?
Yeah, thank you, Kofi. All right, good morning, good afternoon, gentlemen, wherever you find yourself. And to our viewers and listeners, once again, welcome to the iGimel Sports Pundits. I'm sorry for the technical issues, but it's all solved now. So welcome once again. We have Professor Nyantechi on board today. Professor Baront is also here, and then we have Coach Kofi Cranton. Welcome, gentlemen. Let's get a game started. I know you guys already started talking about it. I don't know where to start, but I will just throw in some things. All right, so interestingly, this week we heard about the formation of the Super League, the European Super League. Some 12 teams met somewhere, and then they decided that let's do this thing that we're going to be playing each other every week, that viewers, supporters will be so eager to watch all these big games across the countries and shores of Europe. But then just after about 48 hours of their announcement, I know this talk has been going on for about, I think, 3 years when they started sitting and talking about this European Super League. But just after 48 hours of its announcement that they were going to start it next year, or I think this year, whichever one, everything got started on the way. Kofi, what do you think is the cause of all this thing? Is it FIFA? Is it UEFA? Is it the FIFA body? What is the cause of the breakaway from the formation of all this Super League? I think some people were so excited about it. Some people told it didn't. What do you think is the cause of the breakaway?
Well,
I'll start with Coach.
I wouldn't want to call it breakaway. I thought it looked like a breakaway. I personally supported it, and I still support it, and I still support the stand of UEFA.
Your reasons for supporting it. Your reasons. Give some reasons.
Yeah, the reason I support this is that, now, look at this. The club, Barot was talking about the club needing a lot of money. I support it because I personally feel UEFA is not running the competition the way the competition ought to be run. Now, you look at issue of racism, and then Patrick Bamford of Leeds United, he made a statement which I thought was profound. And the statement he said was, as soon as UEFA realized their finances were about to be hit They reacted with such ferocity and such aggression that within 48 hours, there was a backdown from the 12 most powerful clubs in Europe. And if Real Madrid is leading anything in Europe and Barcelona is part of it, and you have Manchester United and Liverpool being part of it, and you know this is serious stuff. UEFA knowing their pocket was about to be hit so hard, what happened? They issued all forms of threat. They were ready to ban the likes of Messi playing in the Champions League. They were ready to ban every single human being and that we've adored on our screens playing football. The issue of racism. We've seen Black and ethnic minority players being abused every single day. And I'm yet to see UEFA react with such speed and ferocity and such aggression and such determination to protect their pocket. That for me was ridiculous. And that is why I support the idea of the ESL. I know it's a big blow to a lot of fans, but for UEFA to know that we are interested in something more from them. That is, we want equality in the game, and we don't want equality of lip service. We want equality in the game for fans, for footballers, for ethnic minority players, for African players, Asian players, for black, brown, everyone. That is what we want in UEFA. And they seem to care about their pocket, their bloody pocket, over the sanity of the game. And that's why I want the ESL to go and keep annoying them. So that's why I support the ESL in this.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you. Yeah. I think in your sense, you're still hoping that this ESL is going to come back. Prof, what do you think? What are some of the benefit or the cause of the breakaway of this great formation that some people thought this was a great idea? Some people thought, oh, these big clubs trying to bully the smaller ones. What's your thought on it?
Oh, it was just about money. I mean, there's nothing serious, and there's no other reason for this. They just wanted to make more money because I mean this is on both Real Madrid and Barca are in debt, serious debt. So that's what they wanted to start as soon as possible. They just wanted to make as much money as they can to offset the debts that they've made during this COVID period. So it's nothing. There is no secret agenda. It's just money.
Right.
So, Baron, okay, let me ask you differently. So everybody's talking about it's all about money. Couldn't these club presidents and all this body, couldn't they have presented their case to maybe UEFA or the Champions League board that this is what we want? The money that you put in the competition is too small. Can you do something about it rather than going this way? Or you think there has been some conversation somewhere and then it didn't work? What do you think, Boro?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Carlos. So, you see, I don't think Real Madrid and Chelsea and Barcelona and Madrid and Manchester or anyone would wake up just one morning and say, we want to abstain, right? I think they have had conversations over the past that, and you know, look, Carlos, you know what has happened with UEFA over the years. These guys, honestly, they're autocrats. We know how these guys operate, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So these guys have wanted something to happen. This is it. Because look, Barcelona and Real Madrid alone, the amount of TV rights they command, you get it? Yep. To be honest, without these clubs, UEFA is nothing. UEFA is nothing, right? So if they have they've had a discussion with, I'm sure they've had discussions over the years. UEFA has just probably been stubborn. They've just been an obstinate child. So the guys had to be they had to have staged the guys. I found nothing wrong with it. I was like, these guys would have to learn. Like, really, you'd have to learn. Because these guys, over the years, I mean, how can you, look, it was just a lip service. How can you ban Lionel Messi? How dare you? How can you ban Cristiano Ronaldo? How can you ban Eden Hazard? Do you know how much?
No, but Boront, they issued threats. I mean, they look serious about it.
Oh, that was an empty threat. It was an empty threat. It was an empty threat. Everyone here knows that. It was an empty threat. You banned them. Okay, you banned Messi. Barcelona says we are out of the Champions League. Real Madrid says we are out. trust me, nobody's gonna watch the Champions League.
Nobody's gonna watch. Everybody's gonna watch.
No, nobody's gonna watch it. I mean, it was just an empty threat. They were panicking, honestly, for them to come out, like Kofi said, they were panicking because the guy saw that their stream of income was going to be blocked. So they were like, it's like what you do when you hear something serious is going to happen to the very thing that it's like what you call it, killing the golden goose, right?
Mm-hmm.
It lays the golden eggs. You want to kill it. How are you going to kill it? So they were just saying that out of it was out of shock. It was more adrenaline and shock than being serious.
The seriousness.
Yeah, I don't think they would have done anything.
All right, thank you, Baron. Thank you, gentlemen. Now let's go to this is the funny part. This is the funny part of the whole thing, right? So people are making comments that there were some certain teams that were involved in the 12 formation that also caused suspicions that this is not actually right, because we see teams like Arsenal for the past 2 or 3 years having really been a Champions League status team, but they've been playing the big 12.
Be careful.
I'm coming. I'm talking about Arsenal. I'm going to talk about Tottenham as well. Tottenham is also included in there. Yeah, Tottenham was somewhere in the finals about 2 years ago, but after that, what has happened to them? And they are included. Do you think some of these teams going along with the 12, going along as the 12 big clubs in Europe also had some cause of alarm to, bring eyes onto this whole formation? Because I sometimes I love to watch Dynamo Kiev or Sparta Moscow when they're in the Champions League. Yeah. So, if you look at the past 2 years, this team from Germany, RB Leipzig, they've been so fantastic.
Yeah, Leipzig.
Yeah. Yeah, they've been so fantastic. I mean, you can't take this. And one thing that we all enjoy is when these teams that I'm mentioning from nowhere, they bring out certain players that attract these big teams. Kofi, let me come to let's talk about the top 12 teams that caused this formation. And do you think all the teams that were involved there, they actually deserve to be in there?
Well, to be fair, in terms of I see the reason why. I don't know what 92 will say about this, but I see the reason why they needed those teams on board, and because it's a game of numbers, and I believe they were talking about 15 teams. I would have taken Spurs, I would have taken Arsenal, but crucially, I think they missed a trick, and the trick they missed was unless of course they were looking to threaten UEFA to bring UEFA to the table to discuss more money. But if they were being very serious, I think they missed the trick. And the trick was they should have had a backdoor consultation with UEFA officials and FIFA officials. And that is before they came out. Because for them to come out this way, and it didn't make a lot of sense. But what would make sense for them to add some of these smaller teams was numbers game.
So which ones are the smaller teams? Which teams there do you think are
for me? In terms of if you look at I'm a Chelsea fan, but they will add Chelsea for the simple reason that Chelsea has been one of the most successful clubs in England and in Europe in the last 10, 15 years. So it makes sense to add Chelsea. Now for Arsenal and Tottenham and then Atletico Madrid, I'm not sure they are on the same level as Real Madrid and Barcelona and the Juve and all that. I don't think they're on the same level. But as I said again, for numbers' sake, and they probably had to get them on board. But for not having Bayern Munich on board, I think that was a disaster, absolutely disastrous. And not even to have Ajax on board, that was equally disastrous. So for me, they had to add this smaller clubs or big clubs in quote. They had to add them just to make up the numbers, and nothing really.
According to the information I had,
Okay.
PSG and Bayern Munich refused to join. They were holding on.
Yeah.
So
PSG,
it's not
that's
like they didn't
PSG.
start Bayern Munich. Because I mean, you can't have a league without Bayern Munich in Europe. No, you can't.
Yeah,
You can't. Not
exactly.
Bayern Munich or PSG.
Yeah.
So these two, PSG and Bayern Munich, they decided not to join. So they were adopting a wait and see attitude. So, and as it turned out, they were very smart.
Well, and
So-
PSG, well, PSG, they are a big club, are they?
PSG, I will not
Say-
call PSG a big
Yeah.
club. I
I
mean,
wouldn't call PSG a big club.
yeah, if we're talking about big club in the French league is Marseille and Monaco,
Yes.
maybe. I
Yeah,
won't call
we'll probably put Marcel in there. PSG, I don't
yeah,
want to
maybe
Marcel in
for
there.
the past 3 years they are actually coming up. PSG is now coming up. They haven't reached that status
But they've
yet.
got the players who draw the crowd. Neymar and Mbappe. They've got the players who draw the crowds. Who draw the crowd. So you can't leave them out if you want anything. If you want eyeballs,
Can they
you can't leave them
sustain?
out.
Can they sustain this status player
No, you see,
in the next 5 years? All right, bro, it's coming.
PSG has become the proverbial car that stays in the hangar overnight and think it's a plane. You know, it's funny. So when sometimes I hear Kofi saying Arsenal is not a big club, I mean, someone who has won the English league how many times? 17 or what?
Well,
How many times?
in Europe, Arsenal is not a big club.
Oh, but they've won the UEFA. Haven't they won the UEFA?
Oh, please, Arsenal.
Oh, anyway, I'm not going to argue about that. But what I'm trying to say is that if you put PSG above Arsenal, that would be a travesty of justice.
Yeah, I agree to that. Yeah, you can't do that.
So gentlemen, do you guys think that they could have gone with that modality of the way the Champions League is being selected, the teams are being selected on the Champions League playoffs and all that, rather than just having these fixed 20 teams to play every year without relegations and I mean other teams also having the chance? Because I personally think the modality that the Champions League is going right now, it gives competition because everybody, Leicester City is fighting. West Ham want to join in there. When you go to the other league, Lokomotiv Moscow is also fighting in. You go to Norway, Rosenborg, and the other teams are also fighting to come in. Don't you think they could have, I mean, used that same? Prof, you can give me your thoughts on that.
Well, basically for them, they were just looking at clubs that would have clubs that have worldwide appeal. So whether it's China or Peru, I mean everybody. Man United have fans in China. I'm sure they've got fans in South America. So I mean, all these clubs, Real Madrid will have fans in Australia. They also have fans in the US. Yeah, so then we're just looking at thing is that as many the larger the number of eyeballs, the greater the number of eyeballs, the more money they will make. So they were just looking at so if you are going to bring a club like Lokomotiv Moscow, do they even have fans outside of Russia? How many Russians? How many people outside of Russia have even heard of Lokomotiv Moscow? So yeah, they were just looking at the eyeballs. So and these 12 clubs, they could say that at least they have they can boast of
the number
between the 12 of them. They have at least 1 billion, at least 1 billion fans, at least 1 billion fans. These 12 clubs, you put them together, 1 billion fans. So yeah, that's what they were just looking at, the eyeballs, number of eyeballs.
Wow, this is getting interesting, viewers and listeners. If you not buy your TVs or radios, this is about the time. Join in at the iGimel TV on YouTube. We are live and we're discussing the European Super League. Okay, Boron, let me come to you on this one. So the breakaway and all that, it started with the same, some of these 12 teams that initially planned the whole thing and I mean agreed that let's come and announce it that we are ready to start it. Why did they fall into the trust of the European body or the FIFA body?
Come again.
Didn't
Why did
they
they
think? Why did they fall into the threat? Because I mean, we know that they had that discussion, and I mean
Right.
everything was set to roll in. Why? Just after I mean about 24 hours or 48 hours that they announced it. Now we came back. Oh, Liverpool has withdrawn from the European this, and then all the
Right.
other teams started following.
Right. So so first of all, I think I would want to say that I don't think all the 12 clubs actually decided on this. It might be some 2 or 3. Yeah, and top of it would be Real Madrid. Right. Real Madrid, yeah.
I mean,
because
Real Madrid really wanted this thing to happen.
right. And Madrid is building a new, I don't know if you've seen the new Santiago Bernabeu.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's superb. Man, this COVID season has really dented the pockets of the big clubs, right?
Yeah.
So honestly, I think, man, if you read somewhere, you'd see that. I think, was this JP Morgan Chase or one of the banks had committed $3.2 billion? I think so.
Yeah.
To it. You see, their pockets had been dented, one. So this it might look like 12 teams, but honestly, it was just about 2 or 3 teams who were pulling all the strings, right?
Yeah.
Now, the other part is that, look, every big team has, every big company, they have an exit strategy. These guys, I'm sure when they were going in there, they knew something could happen. And like I was saying, they were just testing the waters, honestly. I think they were just trying to send a message across to FIFA, to UEFA. UEFA has not, they've not done things right, to be honest. They haven't done things right. And these guys have wanted changes over the years, right? But they're not getting it. So they are trying to find means and ways of trying to get their voices heard. That was the main reason. I don't think, look, if you want to form a league, because more planning actually needed to take place for this whole thing to actually kick off, honestly, right? So I don't think, in all honesty, these guys really wanted to leave. They were actually trying to just make a point. And they managed to make that point. Now, I think the only teams left are Barcelona, Real Madrid, and Juventus, right? But the new Barca president, my main man, what's his name?
Laporta.
Juan Laporta is saying that, hey, this, when I came, things have been done. So in order to leave it, because Barcelona is all about the members, right? So the members would have to vote if they want to leave it. You see what he's trying to do? He's trying to like sort of say, oh no, we hear you, want your voices, just come and vote out, right? You see what you're trying to do? So really, at core, they didn't want to leave. It's just that they were trying to make their voices heard. That was all, and they succeeded. The only person who is really going to face the brunt of the whole thing is the Real Madrid president, because that guy is a very stubborn guy, very stubborn guy, very stubborn. I mean, you say something, he's not even looking at you. So, ideally, when you see it, he would be at a disadvantage now. But Juan Laporta, he just became president. He's just trying to get his things going, to do what he has to do. But the rest, they sort of have left it, and that is what it is. They've made their voices heard. They'll go back to the drawing board and do what they have to do. But I don't think they really wanted to leave. They just wanted to make some changes. And they've succeeded. I think they've succeeded.
Mano, what do you think? Have they really succeeded, or the change is good?
Well, actually, have they succeeded? I believe what they've done, the 9 clubs that are put out are actually in a much weaker position regarding UEFA, because I mean, right now they won't have any more clouds with UEFA as they did before. So I believe right now they are weaker, they are less influential. So fine, UEFA may have listened to them, but their influence has waned because of what they did. Because they've left the 9 clubs have left the Super League. So more or less their influence has waned within the ranks of UEFA. So I think right now UEFA has rather gained more influence over them.
Yeah, due to the nine. Kofi, I overheard you somewhere that you jubilating that Real Madrid is going to get a ban. Kofi, in your right mind, you think it would be fair for both fans, Chelsea fans and Real Madrid fans, that Real Madrid will be banned, so Chelsea will just have their way to the 2021 Champions League final straight away like that? Kofi?
Well, that was a joke I was making. I don't think that will be possible in any day. But there's one interesting thing about this whole ESL as well, which I want to come up from that angle. Now, the reason I support, obviously, I'm giving one of the angles. I read the letter. I don't know if there's another one or I missed it, but they said, the Chelsea's letter said, we are in the process of pulling out. Now, I'm not a lawyer.
So it means they are not fully out.
They're not fully out yet.
Yes.
They said we are in the process. We began the process of pulling out. Yes, there may be some legal implication. It may be a strategy that the lawyers have advised them to say, okay, we're going to go out. Because if they emphatically say we are leaving, they may be liable to some damages to the Juventus guy, the organizers of the ESL. So that is what we are in the process of leaving. Now, this is where the interesting bit comes to me. In one breath, it's very difficult for me to exactly pinpoint whether it was a game or it was a chess or it was just a total disaster. And these guys are very successful people. They are corporate leaders. They've run multi-billion-pound industries for so many years. And I would think it would be absolutely scandalous to see them organize this ESL in this manner. I don't believe it. What I'm thinking is they are looking for is someone just mentioned about Real Madrid building a new stadium and they need money. And what I'm thinking, and the reason Florentino Perez is still pushing for this, is to bring UEFA to its knees and say, we want this kind of money. Or he's trying to make, because there is a method in this madness which is not making sense to me. I don't understand how such successful businessmen and seasoned football people will so childishly present this idea through the media. It is crazy. I know it's been going on in the background for the last few years, but it is unbelievable to think that this would have been their best way of approaching and telling us the fans that we're going to run this league and get ready. We are starting in August. That is it's absolutely crazy. But there again, there's a lot to it. There's a lot of method to the madness, and I believe in the next few weeks it will unfold, and then we'll see. But I wish Florentino Perez will continue annoying UEFA, and Madrid will get kicked off latest by Monday, and Chelsea can just walk into the final.
Kofi put in that joke again. Chelsea put it in the finals when Madrid got banned. All right, viewers and listeners, we're gonna run up. We're gonna run up due to the technical hitch here. We exceeded our time, but we're gonna run up very soon. We definitely gonna come up maybe next week or two. There should be a part 2 of this, because there's gonna be an updating stories coming up on this ELS and whole thing. We will need to discuss more. So
information I've read on various sports, various football.
Prof, you saying something?
No, I'm not saying it. No, I've not said anything.
Okay. Yeah, I was so worried about the threats and the effect that FIFA even issued a threat that they're gonna ban these players that will play in this league from playing the FIFA World Cup. How is this possible? I know you guys have already said that. I mean, how on earth are you gonna ban Lionel Messi? and Cristiano Ronaldo, and it was just an empty threat. But let's say if it should have happened, is it right? Because I don't think these players were all involved in this planning. It was just the team body, the people who are running the team who met somewhere and decided to do it. So most of the players don't even know anything about this, and they are doing their job. So if something like this had happened, do you think it was going to be fair on the part of the players? Let's use this one to run up.
I believe the players made their feelings known. At least the captains of 20 EPL teams, they made their feelings known. I expect that some of them would have gone on strike. Some of them would have gone on strike, and the owners would not have been able to do anything to them. So, because I don't think they would have wanted to, they would have wanted to jeopardize their chances of playing for their countries at either the Euros or the FIFA World Cup. So, because the captains of the EPL teams came out with a strong statement. I don't know about La Liga teams. Messi has a lot of influence at Barca, so maybe he could have done something at Barca. Even now, I'm sure whether or not he stays at Barca will be tied to if Barca will be in the Super League, because if Barca are going to be in the Super League and Messi will not be allowed to play for Argentina, I don't think he will still be at Barca after this season. So I'm sure the players have a lot of power, so they would have had a say in this.
Baron, what's your thought on this players banning the effects?
I'm not sure if that was the way to go, or that was going to succeed, because it's like your father owing money to a bank, and the bank trying to come for the money from you. I mean, you didn't go for the money. It was a group of, yes, of course, the captains were. But after all, it's not their signature on that document. It's the signature of some of the head of the club or something. And those were the people held accountable. If you ban the club, yes, you're banning the whole club. But I don't think you can choose and pick which player. So why are you not banning what do you call it? Maybe some, I don't know. Give me the lead player in Barcelona. Some guy in who hasn't played for a long time. Why are you not banning them and you want to ban Lionel Messi? And then, or why are you not banning
Messi is the one who carries the team. Messi is Barcelona.
Yeah, no. So my question is that why are you not banning, let's say, Arujo or something? Why? They're all in Barcelona. Why are you choosing
Barcelona can do without but they can do without Messi.
Precisely. So, well, but then it means their mark for judging the teams and the players wouldn't have made sense, because if you're choosing and picking who to ban, then that doesn't make sense. Then go and ban the least important player in Barcelona. Why ban Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo? So theirs would even, I don't think they could have even done that, because the teams would have come with them guns blazing. Yeah, all the legal things going around. So I think it was all just an empty threat. Honestly, I think it's just an empty threat. On what basis? Then ban the whole team. Ban every single player. Oh well, why are you not banning Ter Stegen? Or why are you not banning the keeper rather? Hey, you want to ban specifically Lionel Messi? Really?
Coach Kofi.
Yes.
What do you think about this whole ban situation? The players, the target on the players.
I think from the legal point of view, UEFA would have struggled massively, and the reason UEFA would have struggled because these players obviously signed contracts with this class, and there was no article in the contract the club signed with UEFA that was restricting them, which is what Natixi was saying earlier, the non-compete contract in there. So it would have been very difficult for UEFA to actually ban anybody. In actual fact, the EES, European Super League, they went to a Spanish court last week, and then this week actually, and they won a case that UEFA could not have taken certain sanctions against them. And then UEFA went ahead to challenge the case. So UEFA knew that it was going to lose the battle. That is the reason why UEFA, I believe, played a very smart card. And the smart card they played was to get the fans to rise up. And the fans, they are the majority stakeholders. And the fans, they determine, they do all sort of stuff. We saw what happened at Chelsea when the Premier League game, a scheduled TV live game, was delayed for 15 minutes because the fans at Stamford Bridge decided not to let the Chelsea pass through. It took the intervention of the president to speak to the fans to calm them, for them to allow the pass through. So UEFA realized that for them to allow the pass through, we've lost this battle with them. Now let's push it and get the fans and the old players, ex-players, professional players talking and condemning this. And I think that's how UEFA won it. They couldn't have banned anybody. I mean, on what grounds? That would have been against European rules on trading. Players can trade. They are individuals. They are companies. They can do stuff. You cannot restrict them. So I believe banning would have been totally impossible. The fans would have even turned against it. And there's one thing I want to add. If the ESL had gone ahead, I am guaranteeing you 100%, you and I would have watched it. I know it may be boring as a point, but every one of us would have watched it. For the simple reason why we would have watched it. Because we like the game. Football is what people do. And yeah, we will have a little banter here and there. We will still watch it. ESL will still make the money. And UEFA will suffer. So I think on this occasion, the fans won for UEFA. And UEFA must find a way of treating the fans very well. And by treating the fans very well, they've got to treat the clubs very well. So the clubs will treat the fans very well. I say a fair share of the cake to the clubs. All the clubs who play in the UEFA Champions League, they must have their fair share. I'm passionate today, and I'm very passionate. UEFA has been put under the cosh. But now, for one, they will work harder to make football better.
Viewers, you heard it from Coach Kofi Krante. He said he supported ELS 100% because he's gonna let UEFA start doing the right things. There are a lot of questions that I wanted us to discuss, but like I said, we will put it for another day. Like, I mean, is this whole thing going to start affecting the players' contracts, like contract renewal in their various clubs? Because like we all know that this financial effect on these various clubs that is causing all these things. Now they have to be hard on some of the players that demand so much. So we will come to that maybe next week. 1 minute each, gentlemen. Just give me your closing remarks, and then we will sign off. I will go ahead and let viewers know our sponsors for this program, and then we will close for today. So 1 minute each. Let's run out.
Fine. So let me begin. Like I said, I'll give you with a free advice. Talk to your lawyers and the national entity. Let these 12 clubs to sign non-competing contracts. If they don't sign, they don't play your competition. Simple. Contract could be 20 to 50 years to 100 years. Simple. You avoid this wahala. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Prof is approaching on the legal side. Yes. Free advice to UEFA. They're going to listen to you. UEFA got people watching this iGimel on the show, so they'll definitely hear your voice. Baron, your final one.
I know my Leonard colleague Bano is saying that you should make them sign non-competes, but that is the very thing he doesn't want them to do, because he will get this guy to become more stubborn. Like I think yes, it's a point, but I think when they go that way, it might also sort of rile the guys up, or to rub the guys up wrongly against the big clubs. They would be like, oh, okay, so this happened, and now this is what you like. But I think they should both sit at a table and discuss, let their problems be known, what is going on, what they don't like, the changes, and okay, because from what I am picking up, UEFA has been too stubborn in effecting some changes or in listening to some of the clubs. So I think they should have a very open discussion and have this going. And see where it will lead, because we all love the beautiful game and see where we want to see it thrive.
My brother says UEFA, the ESL should have an open discussion. Coach, your final word.
Yeah, my final word is pretty simple. I don't think UEFA would try to bring the clubs to kind of non-compete agreement. It's a sensible thing to do, as Professor is saying. But if the club decide, well, we want to have a team, the club case, you are misbehaving, so we can go and form our own league. I think we'll see how it will pan out. It's going to be a very tough thing to for the clubs. Finally, I think the British Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, has also waded into the debate, talking about legislations or policies to stop the European Super League. So I think it's going to be interesting, and then we'll wait and see how it pans out.
All right, so we'll wait and see all the interesting stories that will come up on this European Super League. Our viewers and listeners, if you are with us today, watching us live on TV, this is because of iGimel Sportswear. iGimel Sportswear sponsors about 3 different clubs in the Ghana Premier League. Go uses iGimel Sportswear. The same as King Faisal United, they also uses the iGimel Sportswear, and also Liberty Professionals. They are all marking on the iGimel Sportswear. So thank you to iGimel. They are our proud sponsors for this program, and they will continue to sponsor us. Viewers and listeners, this is where we come to the end of today's Sports Pundits. See you all for next week.